All wings report in. Austin standing by.
Mike, standing by.
Austin, standing by.
The Rogue 3 podcast is locked on target. Whether it's movies, shows, books, comics, or more, we're going to be coming to you from a galaxy far, far away to celebrate all things Star Wars.
All right, welcome guys to the Rogue 3 podcast. We are doing a special shorter episode for you all. We wanted to kind of give some predictions for the upcoming celebration, Star Wars Celebration Japan, only about a week away from when we're recording this. We are extremely excited. For those of you who are not familiar with the history of Star Wars Celebration, they've been doing celebrations since 1999 as a lead up to The Phantom Menace, the first prequel movie that was released. And then lately, they've been doing celebrations every other year in various locales. This year is going to be in Japan. The three of us, unfortunately, do not have the means to go to Japan at the moment. But we are excited to watch from a distance. And we're excited, fingers crossed that hopefully it'll be somewhere close nearby. So let's take it away, guys. What do we think is going to happen this year? I guess we want to walk through some of the important panels. What's coming up first?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the Mandalorian Grogu panel. That's it's the first movie, Star Wars movie in theaters since Rise of Skywalker, and that would have been in 2019. So we're coming up on a good gap there, and we've got a lot of Mandalorian content, for the past 5 years. We've got no, theater representation for it, so I'm pretty pumped. What about you guys?
Yeah, we know that last year they already released some footage of Mandalorian and Grogu. So this year, I'm hopeful that we're going to get something more, maybe an actual teaser trailer or something a little bit more than just a little snippet of some of the footage.
It's been about 7 years since a movie. Does anybody remember? I guess it's kind of tricky to guess at this point since the other movies were coming out one after the other. How soon we can expect to get major trailers like that?
There's usually a teaser,
Mm-hmm.
probably like 8 or so months out, and then you get a trailer probably 6 months out. Like the For the past couple celebrations that were before a movie, the celebration would be like in the spring, and then that would be when we would get the first trailer, for the movie in December.
And there's times that they try to have something play at Celebration and not have it get leaked just yet. And it's something special for Celebration, for the people there. But it always gets leaked. We always hear about it. We always know what it is. So it won't last if they do something more than that kind of 8-month window.
Of course. Shame on you all for leaking it, and we will be watching it. What do we think we're going to actually see? Do we think any of the cast is going to be up there?
I think it's quite likely we'll get somebody there. They've announced Sigourney Weaver is going to be in it, and his name escaping me, Jeremy.
Is it Jeremy White?
Yeah, Jeremy White, from The Bear.
From The Bear.
Yes, yeah. Jeremy
So I really
White
think
is from The Bear.
His culinary skills will surely transfer over to playing a Hutt, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If no one calls him Stinky during the course of the movie, I will be a little disappointed. Of course, that was what Ahsoka referred to him as.
Yeah.
If we don't hear him called Stinky on the panel, I will be very upset.
Very upset.
Yeah, the only other thing I was going to throw in there is I wonder if there might be a Grogu puppet that might be shown. And maybe they've done some more updates with it, and it's even more able to do things. And so I would hope maybe that will make an appearance.
And if there's one thing people love, it's Grogu. So
yes.
People on your side, just bring him out.
And Star Wars fans only agree on one thing, and it is Grogu.
Yeah.
Now, not even what to call him. I think we do only have a few cast members announced, so hopefully we'll get some more cast announcements, maybe some concept art at the very least released to everyone. Should be fun.
Yeah, I think that's the only movie that they're doing a panel on this year. So we'll have other.
I don't think we'll get
much
more on the other movies. What are we thinking up next?
Yeah, I want to talk. There's several panels. The big thing this year really is TV shows and or being released right as Celebration closes. Essentially, it's almost a day after it closes, and so that's on a lot of people's minds. That's going to be a big panel that they have, and I'm excited to see what they reveal right before that season 2 comes out. Is it going to be more retrospective, or is it going to be more forward thinking?
I think we're almost certain to get another trailer at that point. It's probably going to be a more focused trailer. It might be focused more on the first few episodes. I'm willing to bet the people who actually go are going to see, at the very least, the first episode.
Yeah, in London, I think they got to see Ahsoka. The people that attended the Ahsoka panel got like a voucher to come back that evening to watch the first 2 episodes of the show. And I want to say they did something similar when Andor first premiered too. So I think it's pretty likely the people that are lucky enough to get in that panel will get to watch it. I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to get people hyped up about it. So there's a lot of positive word of mouth coming out of Celebration.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've announced who of the cast members are going to be there either. Is Diego Luna going to be there? I would expect him to be there, but maybe some other people will be there to kind of talk about the show and what it's meant for Star Wars TV.
Well, this is kind of their last hurrah for Andor, so they probably want to get everybody out there that can.
Those of you who have listened to our most recent episode know that we're massive Mon Mothma fans here on the podcast. And if we do not see Genevieve O'Reilly on the panel, I will be very upset.
Which quick aside, there is a whole Mon Mothma panel.
Is there a whole Mon Mothma panel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh my gosh, that's great. I hope they stream it. Do we know if they're streaming any of this?
They've not said.
I'm sure they'll stream some little bits, but I'm sure these big panels, sometimes they'll stream like part of the panel and the rest of it will just be secret. But we'll have to wait and find out. But Andor's not the only thing going on. What do we think is going to happen with animation? What are we expecting?
I think we're waiting on an announcement. Mandalorian and Grogu, we know that's coming. Andor season 2, we know that's coming. But animation right now has, besides Visions, which is special and really cool, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. There's no animation show announced right now, and so we're kind of waiting for that.
Least. We've had Tales of the Underworld coming out.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know if maybe they'll do a teensy little thing for Tales of the Underworld, maybe a little clip from the show. I don't expect a whole lot of time just because it's a limited series that's releasing in just a couple of weeks. I don't know. I may be way off base there.
I think the fact that they announced Tales of the Underworld before, like a week before Celebration, I think that indicates they're probably just going to have something else announced, and they wanted that announcement to have its moment before another show got announced.
That's a good thought.
I think we're almost certainly getting another show probably this fall. They tend not to announce. They tend not to announce animated projects like super far in advance. It tends to be a lot closer to release date. Because you can keep that a secret. Like you can't keep live action stuff a secret because like the actors are filming, and so you have to know why somebody's in a certain place or whatever. But with animation, you can really do a whole show and be surprised we have a whole TV show made.
You don't know. Yeah, you don't know who's in the studio and what they're recording.
Exactly.
Do you guys have a era of what you hope this animated show, if we get an announcement, it covers?
I have two thoughts here that are conflicting. My first thought is we brought Asajj Ventress back from the dead. Those of you who read the Dark Disciple book know that she died in that book, and the Bad Batch, although the Bad Batch is great, they brought her back, and she is going to feature in this Tales of the Underworld show. I hope they brought her back for a bigger purpose than just a couple of episodes in that show. Obviously, that story would have to take place between episodes 3 and 4. That's really where a story like that would fit. That having been said, at the same time, I'm a little over the Rise of the Empire era, just for now. Not always, but we spent a lot of time there. It'd be fun to maybe go back, get a High Republic animated show. I know we have Young Jedi Adventures.
For me, I think High Republic is probably. I agree with you. First of all, Ventress is one of my favorite characters. I would love Ventress show. Also, I really want something not between episodes 3 and 4. If I got to pick, I would love a sequel trilogy era show. I really love Resistance, but it did not really because of the way it came out, they weren't really able to like have it too attached to the main storyline because it was coming out at the same time, and they didn't want to constrain the TV show people or the film people. So I would love to see a show that was like about Ray, Finn, Poe, that crew. But with the Ray movie coming, I'm sure that's not going to happen. So to get a new show somewhere, I think High Republic era is quite likely. The only other place I could maybe think of would be like post Phantom Menace, pre Attack of the Clones.
Remember, there was a live action Rangers of the New Republic show at one point. Do you think there's any chance we could get that as an animated project?
Possibly,
Obviously, without certain people in it.
well they've said they put most of that storyline in Mandalorian, and so we've gotten a lot of that already. But it wouldn't surprise me. And there's a lot to be gleaned from that.
I
I
think
think it'd
there's
be
some
cool to
material
see the
there.
Mandalorian era in an animated show.
I think that, we've definitely explored the rise of the First Order in different, books and stuff. Bloodlines or Bloodline tackled that a little bit, but I think it'd be really interesting to kind of see an animated show showing the New Republic as the First Order is starting to rise. Resistance, it's here and it's prevalent. Mike, what are you thinking about a new show? Where do you want it to sit?
I kind of like the idea of a High Republic, or even a post High Republic, but before Phantom Menace show, like the Star Wars Jedi Knights comic series is doing right now.
Yeah.
That would be also a cool area that there's very little. There's a comic here. There's a Dooku Jedi Lost book there. It's very open, and so I could see if they kind of almost slowly move backwards in time and different eras. That would be a really really exciting era to cover. You guys were talking about the post Empire rise of the First Order. We can talk a little bit about the Ahsoka season 2. There's an Ahsoka panel that's going on, and we don't know very much yet. They're filming that right now. So, what do you guys kind of hope to learn from that panel?
I think for the most part, the Ahsoka panel, it's a retrospective on the first season. It looks like how it's describing it. I given that they're already filming it, it is almost certain. I'm pretty sure they're already filming it, right? Yeah, there is almost certain that we're going to see some kind of teaser or something for the next season. I don't think it'll be much. It certainly won't be a trailer. Maybe a still, maybe something like that, just to tease us. But what do you guys think?
Well, with Mandalorian and Grogu, that had been filming, I think, maybe 2 weeks last year during Celebration, and they put together a little like clip reel for us. So it wouldn't surprise me if they have something they can give us. I'm excited for the Ahsoka panel. I loved Ahsoka season 1. I'm excited. They really set us up for some interesting stories in season 2.
I know, especially
I
with
think,
Baylan. I'm curious how they'll
yeah,
tackle
I can't remember.
that.
Is it?
Rory McCann is going to be replacing him, so maybe they'll try and show just a little teaser, a little moment of him filling into that role now.
For those of you who do not know, the actor who played Baylan Skoll, Ray Stevenson, did pass away after that show came out. So they did have to recast him, unfortunately. But I'm sure that Rory will do a great job. And I'm excited for that character.
Yeah, he was really that character was one of my highlights of that show, and so I'm really excited to see what they're able to do with him.
Yeah. The only other TV that's going to be talked about at Celebration is Star Wars Visions, which we know is a little bit different. It's considered non-canon, so it's kind of it's separate on thing. But it's been a really fun series of stories that they've done for both season 1 and season 2. And now they're going back to all Japanese studios, very fittingly for Celebration Japan. And so, what do you guys hope to see? Do you have any anticipation for it?
I'm pretty excited about it. I really enjoyed both seasons of Visions before. It's kind of hard to be like anticipating because I don't know what what they're going to do with it. But and I'm a casual anime enjoyer at best. So I'm not super familiar with all the studios they're bringing in. But the fun thing about Visions is every episode is so unique. If one isn't, to your taste, the next one probably will be. So I'm excited for the new season.
Yeah, it's very much like an anthology where it's like, oh, you have this one story in this one universe, and then it moves to a completely different story in a completely kind of different Star Wars universe.
I've actually not seen the first two seasons at all, any part of it. I think when it initially came out, that non-canon tag on it kind of turned me off just because it didn't feel real. Um, I think that's a mistake, and I definitely want to get around to watching it. I'm certainly not going to be able to get through the first two seasons before season three comes out. Obviously, you really don't need to have watched the old stuff. I think there might potentially be some second sequel episodes. I don't know if that's true, but potentially. So I may just jump into season three and see how I like it, and then round back around to seasons 1 and 2 when I have a chance.
If I can just give a recommendation for at least two of them, the Ninth Jedi and the Twin are I
I've heard
think
good
two
things
two
about
of the
Ninth
best
Jedi,
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's certainly. And then there's the which of those episodes is the Ronin book based off of?
Is that Ninth Jedi?
It's
I
the
think
first.
it's Ninth.
It's the first episode, I think.
I never picked that book up either, but no, not thinking that. Not thinking I should. I've got enough on my plate right now with canon novels than to branch off in a non-canon one. Maybe if I catch up all the way, we can start thinking about that. But it's almost a relief when a non-canon one comes out because I can skip it. We do get a lot of content. Do you guys have anything else left to say about Visions?
I'm just excited to see what comes out after Ahsoka season 2 because right now that's it for live action. We don't have a long running animated series that we know about right now, so we'll see what we have on the horizon.
Based on the direction that Disney seems to be taking Disney Plus, I'm not super optimistic we're going to get as many live action shows. I'm sure we'll get a couple maybe in the future. It certainly will not be as packed as the ones we've gotten, which could be a good or a bad thing. We'll have to wait and see. A couple really good shows is better than a lot of bad shows.
One of the fun things about celebrations, obviously the really big panels, the big show-stopping ones with the movies and TV show announcements and everything. But some of the best stuff that they do are the smaller panels that are focused on like more specific topics. What are you guys thinking about those? What's some stuff you're looking forward to?
Talking about something else that hasn't been officially announced yet, but is maybe on our horizon, is they have a panel on video games and Star Wars. And so, what I'm anticipating, hoping for, is some news of some sort, some official announcement about Star Wars Jedi 3 to follow up on Fallen Order and Survivor. Because I love those games. I know, Austin, you don't really go into the Star Wars video games that much, but those games were great. It reminded me of playing some of the Star Wars games that I played as a kid, and they were so fun. I love Cal Kestis. I think he's a great addition, and so I'm hoping for something connected. I know there's been a couple other games announced recently that are smaller games, but I'm hoping for something related to Jedi Survivor, Fallen Order, that series.
We really need a solid AAA game to look forward to. We had Outlaws last year, which I really enjoyed Outlaws. And they're still releasing their DLC. We've got one more coming out, so that's exciting. They do have celebrating the stories of Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. To me, that sounds more that seems like a fan-led panel, so we're probably not going to get anything exciting from that, other than enjoying discussing the other two games. I think that video games and their impact on Star Wars, it's on the HoloNet news stage, so maybe
news.
Maybe we'll get a little tease
perhaps
for the next game, maybe a formal announcement for the third Jedi game. That'd be pretty cool. We also have publishing coming out. Obviously, we had some pretty big publishing announcements this past week. Looking forward to, we have that new Darth Vader book, Master of Evil. It seems like he's going to be pursuing his desire to conquer death. So for the two Austins here, big Padme fans, who knows if we'll mention Padme somewhere in that book. We'll have to bring back Padme Watch. I'm certain, will we be reading that book for the podcast, do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. I would put my name on that.
This cover looks real spooky. You know, it's kind of like a skeletonly looking Darth Vader mask. I think it looks exciting. I hope we get a little dip into Star Wars horror. That would be fun. I'm a big horror fan on the side of Star Wars, so that would be really cool to get.
It's going to be interesting because we've had so much Darth Vader in the comics. Like he's had an ongoing series since they started back in I think 2015, and it's been published pretty much nonstop since then. So we've got a lot of Darth Vader material from that time, but we haven't had a Darth Vader novel since Lords of the Sith, which I think that was one of the earliest canon
Oh yeah, that
novels
was like
too.
the fourth book, I think.
Yeah,
2015. Yeah.
yeah. So it'll
I
be
like Lords
exciting
of
to
the
see what they
Sith.
do.
It was good. It wasn't my number one Star Wars book, but it was entertaining. We also got some art book announcements. We have the Star Wars Legacy of Doug Chiang. Those art books look extremely similar to the Ralph McQuarrie art books that they released a long time ago. As a big prequel guy, that's thrilling to me. I am absolutely going to be picking this one up. I never picked up that Ralph McQuarrie one, and I'm regretting it. I hope I can find it somewhere in the secondary market, but we'll see. I love a good art book. What do you guys think about art books?
Oh yeah, I'm so pumped about that. Doug Chang, he was lead artist on the prequel trilogy. He was also did Rogue One and Galaxy's Edge, and was very
Oh,
well
we
in
got some
Andor too.
beautiful
So
art books for those works. So it's nice to
yeah,
get the prequel works too.
so I'm really excited about that. Um, the other art book coming out that you didn't mention was the Art of the Acolyte, which is really cool. As someone that loved the Acolyte, it's fun to see. There's actually several Acolyte book announcements, which is pretty fun.
Which is
Um,
great. I was a little, I don't know if surprise is the right word, because we were bound to get some kind of acolyte works. I was worried that they would forget um, the acolyte, and I'm glad to see that they're not. And I hope to see more content within that world, even if we don't get a second season. Um, for April Fools, I was cruelly tricked into thinking a second season was announced when I forgot that it was April Fool's Day. That one hurt quite a bit. But Art of the Acolyte looks great.
In terms of publishing, there's also one on manga, and with the High Republic, there's been Edge of Balance, which is a series of mangas that are connected to the High Republic world. So there's still canon and everything, and there's some Jedi and different people who have been a part of that. So I would be curious if they might try and keep doing something like that in different eras or different stories, because I think it's been successful. I think they have four volumes now out for Edge of Balance.
I think we're four, and then we might have one more coming out. Do you guys have any projections? Anything? I think we may have gotten most of our announcements for the publishing kind of ahead of time. Who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised by something cool. I really doubt we're going to get a whole project announcement the way they did with the High Republic. But do you guys have anything you kind of want to see from publishing?
High Republic is coming to a close, so it may not surprise me if they announce, High Republic Phase 2 or, something else along those lines. I think it's been pretty successful for them, and so it wouldn't surprise me if they had something else planned um, on a similar scale.
Yeah, just a little teaser of Project Luminous 2. That was the code word for the High Republic project.
Project Luminous. I remember the speculation.
Yeah.
Was so fun.
Right, and that was all that we got for a while, was just this name, Project Luminous. And so maybe there will just be a hint of the next project.
It was a heck of a lot of work. I'd be excited to see what team they have for the next project. From a reference material perspective, I want someone to promise me we're getting a Timelines book 2. I know that we just kind of got the first one, but if we don't get a second one, I'm going to be very unhappy. Anything else from Publishing World?
Can't let the moment pass without mentioning the special edition of the Revenge of the Sith novelization. So excited about that. They said there's 170 annotations in that, and it's like one of the most gorgeous books I've ever seen. Like the artistry and on the inside and
Oh
outside
my
is
goodness,
incredible.
it's
So
gorgeous, and the way they did the annotations was really, really smart. It looks like the annotations are kind of going to all be at the bottom, so I like how it's not just like shoving the text to the bare sides of the thing, while you have annotations on the side where it'd be hard to read. I'm very excited about that one. I never read the original Revenge of the Sith novelization for some reason, so I'm going to give it a shot this time. I'm really looking forward to that one.
The thing I'm most excited for is the theme park panels. There's two of them. One is living your Star Wars story in the theme parks. This one, I think this might be fan led. I'm not sure, but my guess is it's going to be talking more about how people do cosplay and do like droids and lightsaber building and stuff like that. But I think it's still a really fun aspect of Star Wars fandom. But the one that I'm almost certain is not fan led is on the last day, and that's Disney Experiences building the galaxy with Walt Disney Imagineering. And that one, I imagine, you talk a lot about the creation of Galaxy's Edge and everything going on there. I'm hoping for an announcement of some kind. The existing Millennium Falcon ride that's there, we do know that's getting a new Mandalorian overlay coming later
I'm
this
sure
year.
they'll tease that.
Yeah, and that's a big deal for those of you that aren't super familiar with Galaxy's Edge at Disney World, Disneyland. It's been timeline constrained to between episodes 8 and 9, and this is the first thing they've done. It's like a physical construction thing beyond like a character walking around that is removing from that timeline. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with that. They're very excited about it. They've been promoting it a lot, so that'll be neat. I think probably like the biggest thing we could see announced is some version of Galaxy's Edge for Tokyo or Paris, which that would be a really big announcement. That wouldn't really impact me too much as a stateside Star Wars fan, but as a theme park enthusiast, it'd be neat to see what they could do with all that Star Wars stuff a few years down the line with tech advancements and everything.
Did you see who's moderating the panel?
I did not see who's moderating it.
It's Ashley Eckstein.
Oh, nice.
I love it. For those who don't know, she's a fan of the Disney parks, so it's exciting to see her. Looks like Matt Martin from the story group is going to be on it. So I don't know. Maybe that means there's going to be some kind of story content. Well, who knows? Maybe he's also a fan of the Disney parks. I don't know too much about Matt. I remember him appearing in some Rebels stuff when that was coming out.
He was. I know he was involved with the development of Galaxy's Edge.
Was he? Oh, then there you go. That makes sense. I would love if we got some really cool announcement. 0% chance we get a expansion to Galaxy's Edge announced, which I want so badly. But
he's been one time and wants more.
Exactly. I've been one time and I want more. It was nice to see that the fan-led one looks like it mentions the Halcyon Star Cruiser. It's just nice to see an official reference to that, since it seems like everyone's trying to forget it. Which is heartbreaking. I wish we could have gone on it, but unfortunately we couldn't.
I wonder after these panels if you guys learn more about Disney and Galaxy's Edge, that when you guys go next time, or when I finally go, I'll have a much greater appreciation for it.
Absolutely, yeah. Whenever we get you down there, we're going to do a full tutorial and get you caught up to speed so you can enjoy it properly.
And you will be building a lightsaber. You will be building a lightsaber, Mike. Absolutely. And I guess one of us, Austin or I, will have to build a lightsaber too, so we can all get in there. Any big expectations that we haven't talked about?
The only other kind of elephant in the room I want to just mention is Oscar Isaacs was originally going to be appearing, but some scheduling conflicts with filming, it sounds like, for maybe an Avengers movie came up and he won't be there. And so I wonder if maybe not there, but there might be some sort of announcement around either Force Awakens or his character, that they would have specifically brought him back for it, but it won't happen now, but it might happen in the future. So it's something to kind of keep our eyes and ears out for as we get closer to Star Wars Day and move on from this celebration. Something that I hoped and wanted to hear more about there, but won't happen this time.
I feel pretty confident we're not going to get announcements for movies other than Mandalorian and Grogu. I feel pretty confident we're not going to get announcements for any live-action shows except for Ahsoka Season 2. I do feel confident we're going to get an animation announcement, which is exciting. Maybe some fun publishing, maybe a little tease at games. All in all, I mean, I'm always excited to get more tidbits from Star Wars. I'm not sure that this is going to be the celebration where we get, blasted with amazing news, which is fine. Smaller scale, focusing on the fan convention is great too. We'll just have to wait and see what it looks like.
It saves everything for 2 years from now when we're there.
Yes, we are going to be at Celebration 2027, guys, and we are psyched. We'll also be at DragonCon 2025. So
yeah, catch us there.
You can catch us there. We'll talk more about that as that's coming up.
Thanks everyone for joining us to talk about the galaxy far, far away. You can find us on Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and TikTok as Rogue3 Media. We look forward to talking with you at the next rendezvous point.